Chances are, if you're a top producing real estate agent, you've been using checklists. And chances are also pretty good that they're paper, because that's what most agents are using. And in fact, if you want to use paper and just get started, you can go to Doublechekk.com, check out the blog, and we have some checklists that you can download in Excel and print and use to your heart's content. But I want to show you how the Doublechekk online system is every bit as easy as paper and 100 times more powerful. So let's just jump into that. First off, if I got a new transaction, I'm just going to jump into my template, and let's say I've got a buyer under contract. So here's my templates. I click on use, and I have to give it a name. And in this case, let's just call it Griswold Purchase 123 Main Street. And we can put as much information here as we want, but just make this simple. So there it is. There's my new active checklist, and if I click on that, now instead of a piece of paper, I've got this online platform. It doesn't take very long to do, and it has the functionality you want. So for example, you might think that this box is how you check something that's completed. Actually, it's a little bit different. I'll show you that in a minute. The way you mark something completed is just to hover, mark it green. Green means that it's completed. So you can go in here and quickly mark items green. What the checkbox allows you to do is select multiple items and then batch them together and mark them all green at the same time. So that way you can see it quickly when you look at this list, just like you can a paper checklist, what's completed and what's yet to be done. The advantage of this is you don't have to have the file with you. You have access to this on the road and on the go. Additionally, there's a whole bunch of features. I'll just start with a simple one here. You have the option to hide the completed tasks. Whereas on a paper checklist, you're looking for what's done and what's not done. Here you simply select hide the completed, and the green items are now gone, and you're only looking at the tasks that have to be completed now. And if you mark one green, it just disappears. So you can show them or not. So that's one advantage. You come down here, you also notice that after the task we have a person's name, and these are all assigned to me because it's my checklist and I just started it. But if I want to assign some tasks to let's say a team member, I can select the name and let's say let's add somebody new here. And here's the screen for managing members, and I could invite somebody brand new that I've never worked with in the past, and they'll be sent an invitation. But in this case, everybody that's agreed to work with me in the past is going to show up here. So here's Janice. She's my assistant. She's going to be a full collaborator, and I'll talk more about that in another video. But the full collaborator is somebody that can see and use the entire checklist. So let's add Janice as a full collaborator. And as you can see here, she shows up that she's active because she's already agreed. If I had invited somebody new that had not worked with me in the past, they would show up here, but it would be pending until they had accepted the invitation that will be sent to them. So let's close that and I'll show you how this works. So now let's say Janice is a transaction coordinator, and I've got key dates here, and I want Janice to be handling the key dates. So let's change that. And as you can see now, Janice has been assigned this task. Here again, we can use this batch function, so I can simply go through here and check the items that I want to assign to Janice. Go back up to the top and say assign those to Janice. And there you go. Now when you come back down here, you see that she's been assigned all of these tasks. Additionally, when you're working with team members, you have the ability to filter by team member. So let's say I want to see just what Janice has to do. And so now you can see here's just the tasks. So let's take these tasks and take a minute and look at the date column here. So let's say mutual acceptance was today. And our earnest money deposit, the latest deposit for that has to be 3 days, actually 2 after that. And we need the financing application, it has to be the 10th, say. We don't have the appraiser. Inspector, let's say we've already scheduled, we have an inspector lined up, and we're going to have that on the 11th. Inspection response, we start counting on the 8th to the 15th. There's 10 days, so there's the 18th. Don't have any of the other dates, and the expected closing date for this transaction, let's just put it to 31st. So we've assigned dates. We also have the ability up here, we have the calendar view. So if you click over here, we have the same list on the left, but we also have the calendar view here, which if you want to look at that, it's kind of cool. Additionally, this is a good time to talk about the other colors. I mentioned that green marks it something as completed, but you also have the ability for red and yellow. So let's talk about this. Earnest money, is that a critical item? You bet it is. Let's mark that red, because if we miss that, we're out of contract. Financing application, if my client misses that, they're waiving their financing contingency. So those are critically important items. The inspection schedule, let's say that's yellow, which is caution, you need to pay attention. So you get red, which is absolutely urgent, yellow, which is pay attention, it's important as well. And let's mark this inspection response latest date as yellow. So now you can see we have given these priorities. And when you go look at the calendar view, you'll see that they're marked that way on the calendar as well. It allows you to kind of see what's truly important. Now let's say it's a couple days in the future, and we know that the financing application was completed, let's say it was completed on the 9th. I can drag it over the 9th, go up here, change that to green, it's done. Let's say the inspection was changed to the 14th. So I can change dates there, come back here, and all those changes are going to be reflected here as well. So let's go back up here and deselect Janice, which means it will show everybody. So now we get to see everything that has to be done. There is also the ability here to add notes, and this is really just a place for you to put little things that have been happening that you might want to remember later on. Additionally, you can make a note here, and you can select other members of your team that you want them to read this note, and they will be sent a notification asking them to read this note from within Doublechekk. In fact, it shows up right here in this notification area that they'll see that. Also, might as well show you this. Let's go look at Janice's screen. While we've been doing this, Janice has received a notification that I've invited her as a collaborator. Additionally, when she's in here on her active checklist, you can see that it shows up that she's on a brand new checklist. So your people you're working with, it's very easy for them to see what's going on here. So you can add notes, change dates, reassign tasks. You can also come over here and at any task level, you can go to the ellipsis here, and I can delete a task, edit a task, I can add a new task. So I can make this checklist the way I want to do my business, which is important for this reason. You can take the checklist that we've pre-built for you, revise them to the way you want to work, and if you come up here, there's a menu of things we can edit, we can manage members, I can save this as a PDF, I can delete the entire checklist, but I wanted to show you this. Once you have this checklist set up the way you want to do your business, you've deleted items that weren't important, you added additional items, you can save this as a template so that the next time you come back in, it's set up exactly the way you want it to be. So that's just a quick overview of what can be done. There's lots more videos online that will, in the help area, that will show you how to use some of the more advanced features of this. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching.